Hello students, welcome to class 12 biology. Today we will learn biozoology 11th lesson, that is about biodiversity. So what is biodiversity? Bio is living, diversity different kinds of organisms. Under that we will learn about biodiversity concept and various levels of biodiversity, magnitude, patterns of biodiversity. Then what is the importance of biodiversity and geographical regions in India and threats to biodiversity? It is most important. It's our duty to maintain biodiversity in our country or in throughout the world. Okay, so we shall move on for the lesson, starting with the biodiversity. According to UN Earth Summit 1992, biodiversity is defined as variability among the living organisms from all sources, that is including all terrestrial, marine and other aquatic organisms. Okay, so the term biodiversity was introduced by Walter Rawson. Okay, so the term introduced by Walter Rawson. Next we have about the concept of biodiversity. It is an assemblage of different forms of life and each species adapt themselves to live in a specific environment. Change in the climatic condition reflects the distribution of patterns of biodiversity on the earth. Then because of a certain climatic condition, the species may also decline, that is reduce in number. So examples of biodiversity is given that we will learn in detail. Tundra, taiga and temperate forest and tropical rainforest, these are all we have learnt already. And the levels of biodiversity: genetic diversity, species diversity and community ecosystem biodiversity. Next we have about the genetic diversity. So genetic diversity refers to difference in number of types of genes within the species. Okay, follow genetic variation. The same character will have variations. For example, if you have skin color, there are different shades of the skin color that comes under the genetic variation. It also covers genetic variation between distinct population of the same species. So that is about the genetic variation. Then we have advantage of this genetic variation. This helps in sustenance of life because of the difference in race and varieties. Okay, and the subspecies are also being formed. So their requirements will be different because of small genetic change. So when there is a requirement difference, they will have more space to live in. If everybody wants to live in the same space and for the same need, it will be difficult, and there can be a race much faster and it may not lead to the sustenance of life. Okay, so then the example is given, the medicinal plants that grows in different ranges of Himalayas. So if medicinal plant is going to grow in a particular area, we will not get more in number of plants. So it has adapted itself to live in the area of Himalayas at various ranges. So then coming to species diversity, refers to the varied numbers of species in different habitat. Okay, so the number of species per unit area at a specific time is called as species richness. So this is important for your 2 more questions. Species richness, that is the increase in number of species in a particular area. It denotes the measure of species diversity also. The more in number of species in area, the more in species richness. Next we have about alpha diversity. So what is alpha diversity? It is about measuring or counting the number of taxa. So the number of taxa refers to a number of species in a particular area. Then beta biodiversity, it is with reference to 2 adjacent ecosystems. So what is the adjacent? Next to next ecosystem. So there can be a transitional area, as we have learnt in the last class, that there is a transitional area between the grassland and the forest area. The area with is having both grass and also small trees growing in. So this is about the beta diversity. Then gamma diversity refers to the habitats over the total landscape or the geographic area. So next we have about the community diversity. So community diversity or community ecosystem diversity. So as you know, what is ecosystem? The area where the species of a different trophic level live together. Here diversity of niches is given. What is niche? It is the functional space of an organism. You should definitely know the difference between habitat and the niche. So niche is the functional area of the organism, and trophic level, as you know, herbivores, carnivores, and decomposers. And then ecological processes. What are all the things happening in the ecosystem? That is what is the ecological processes. India has one of the greatest ecosystem diversity on the earth. It includes alpine meadows, rainforest, mangrove, coral reefs, grassland, and desert. So variation in the diversity is seen in India because of the suitable climatic conditions. Next we have magnitude of biodiversity. So biodiversity is often quantified with the number of species in a particular area. The current estimate of different species on the earth is about 8 to 9 million. 1.5 species of microorganisms, animals and plants have been described. Others are not yet described, and exact magnitude of our natural wealth been unknown. Okay, this is called as taxonomic impediments. So which we do not know and it is to be described. Okay, so next we have about magnitude of biodiversity in India. So according to World Biogeographic classification, we have various regions that is being classified as follows. We have the area which is rich in the plants. They come under this humid forest and dry deciduous forest and warm desert or semi-desert area. So semi-desert area we have the plants growing and also hot summer is felt. Okay, so then Palearctic region and Indo-Malayan regions are also included under magnitude of diversity in India. All these points to be by heart. Okay, so India is the 7th largest country in the world in terms of area that you know. India has varied ecosystem that is called as the biomes. So biome is a larger area which include all the species and also the climatic condition. As you know, this precipitation, what does this precipitation mean? It means the rain. Okay, next we have temperature and river flow and soil. So river flow, which in turn is affected by the fall of rain. India is one of the 17 mega diversity countries of the world, and then it has 10 biogeographic zones with the characteristic habitats and biota. 8% of the species of animals that world hold, and this percentage is account for 92,000 known species. So we have calculated the known species, and about that the percentage is calculated for the number of species in India. Next we have about altitudinal gradients. So decrease in the species variety occurs in the high mountains due to drop in temperature. These points also we have learned already. So then the reason for the richness in biodiversity in tropical area. So warm tropical region between the Tropic of Cancer and Capricorn on either side of the equator. So we have the congenital habitats for living organisms. So what is congenital? It is born. Okay, so which is newly formed. So the areas which is suitable for the growth of organisms, that is what it means. Here the congenital habitats. Environmental conditions are favorable not only for speciation but also for supporting both the variety and the number of organisms in the environment. So the temperature varies between 25 to 35 in these tropical region, and the climate, season and temperature, humidity, photoperiod are less stable, and it increases the variety and also the number of organisms. These are all the points under tropic area. Next we have about the species and area relationship. So German naturalist, geographer Alexander, he said that area relationship based on his observation to be within a region of species richness increased with increase in area, but to a certain limit. But to a certain limit only it is concerned about the area. It is mostly concerned about the climatic condition and the food availability. So food availability are directly proportional to the amount of light and the number of plants present in the particular area. You can see this graph. So area and species richness. So increase in the space does not mean that it will allow number of species to grow. Area does not matter, only the climatic condition, availability of food matters for the species to increase in the number. Next we have about biodiversity. So what is importance of biodiversity? So ecosystem, services, biological resource, social benefits of biodiversity, the organization and functioning of ecosystem world. So importance of biodiversity, as you know, biodiversity, variation among the organism is essential for the sustenance of life, because they will search for different kinds of food and different kinds of areas for living. So that will make the ecosystem stable. That is why we need a diversity, variation among the organisms. So the importance of biodiversity as such is given here is ecosystem service, biological resources and social benefits of biodiversity. The organization and functioning of ecosystem world over is effect and dependent on biodiversity and its richness. So stability is mainly dependent on the organisms that is present worldwide. Major functional attributes of biodiversity. So you know about the biogeochemical cycle. So biogeochemical cycle is very important for the fixation of nitrogen and utilization of nitrogen, and it is again sent back. It should be recycled. Same way the carbon and oxygen, to maintain balance in the ecosystem and also sustenance of life. Any change or disturbance in the biogeochemical cycle will adversely affect the organisms and affect the ecosystem in turn. Okay, you can see the soil formation here. So soil formation from the rock, and it should be made fertile. How can it be made fertile? By the action of microbes, and also by biogeochemical cycle. Okay, so the climate stability is most important, and then forest resource management and sustainable development and maintaining balance between biotic components are the attributes of biodiversity. Cleaning up of pollutants by microbes is a better solution to clean up our area. So cleaning pollutants should not be done with the help of the chemicals, which in turn again pollute the environment. So microbes are the biggest degraders, so that it can be soil can be clean. Then ecological stability. So what is ecological stability? The variety of richness of species that is contributing the ecological stability. Biodiverse regions. So biodiverse region, what does it mean? The area which is different. Okay, so that it is able to, the organisms are able to invade different areas. Here biodiverse regions or reservoirs of biological source. So biological source like food resource, gene pool. What is gene pool? All the types of genes. So it does not only code for a character, it also code for difference or variation in a single character. Then genetic resource, medicinal resource and bio prospecting, that we will learn in detail to provide unique aesthetic value and hotspots for ecotourism. So this one hotspots we will learn in detail now, along with forest resource and wildlife. It is of commercial significance. It is an indicator for the health of the environmental system. As you know, the indicator presence of certain plants shows the presence of particular type of poison or presence of cadmium or lead in a particular area, or growing of certain plants show the climatic condition, because they can grow in the temperate condition only. Endemism is a crucial indicator of richness. Next we have about the biogeographical regions of India. So we will learn about the biome in detail, different types of biome, and this map is important for you from the practical point of view. So you have Trans-Himalayan region as a area or the biome. So under biome we will learn about the temperature and what is the species richness and how it is able to adapt to the particular environment. Here Trans-Himalayan region, an extension of the Tibetan plateau, high altitude cold desert in the Ladakh region. It comprises 5.7 countries of the 7% of country's landmass. Then this mountain region consists of wild sheep and goat, and they are covered with the wool for them to adapt themselves to live in the cold condition. Then other fauna include Chiru and black rock crane. Himalayas, the entire mountain chain running from northwestern to northeastern India. It comprises of diverse range of biotic species, and 7.2% of the country's landmass is present. And the common fauna of the Himalayan range, the names of the animals are given here. Next we have Indian desert. As we know, the dry areas west of the Aravalli Hills, that is forming the desert. It comprises 6.9% of country's landmass. Then the organism present in the particular area, they are well adapted themselves to withstand the desert condition or dry condition. Semi-arid zone, it is a zone between the desert and Deccan Plateau, that is a transitional zone. Okay, it covers about 15.6% of the landmass. And fauna, the names of the organisms are given, please go through. Next we have Western Ghat. Western Ghat is a mountain range along with the western coast of India, extends over 1500 kilometers of South Gujarat, and the annual rainfall is recorded to be 2000 millimeter per year. And the names of animals are given here. Then we have about the Deccan Peninsula. This covers much of the southern and south central plateau. Okay, and it covers 4.3% of country's landmass. Then they contain deciduous forest, thorn forest, the forest which is having the plants with more of thorns. So as the name indicate, the Deccan Plateau nearby area desert is present. Animals living in desert may prefer to move to Deccan Plateau for feeding purposes. So in such condition, to prevent them from feeding, they produce the thorn. So thorns are the defense mechanism from the plants. So thorn forests include the trees which is having the thorn to protect themselves from the animals. Next, the names of fauna is given here, the names of the animals living in the Deccan Plateau. Next, Gangetic Plains. So these plains are relatively homogeneously defined by Ganges river system, occupies about only 11% of country's landmass, and they are very fertile area. And fauna, the names of the fauna is given. Rhinoceros, elephant are the major fauna in this Gangetic plain. Next we have about the northeast India. The plains and non-Himalayan hill ranges from northeastern India are home to a wide variety of vegetation. It covers 5.2% of country's landmass. It is very less compared to the other type of biota. It is the meeting point of Himalayan mountain and peninsular India. It is the biogeographical gateway. So this word is important. It is a biogeographical gateway for much of Indian fauna and flora. So this forms the way for the other invasive species. We have learned about alien invasive species to our country, and this forms the gateway for that. It also shows biodiversity and hotspots. Hotspots are the area to be noted for the reduction in the biodiversity, and it should be maintained to maintain the number of organisms, that is plants or animals, in the particular area. Next you have the coastal region. So coastal region, as you know, it is near the ocean. Okay, so apart from this, total 25 islands constitute the Lakshadweep. 2.5% of total geographical area is composed of the coastal region. The fauna include the native crab, turtle and tunas. Tunas are fishes. So now we shall see about Andaman Nicobar Islands. So far we have seen about the tropical area, desert area and coastal area. Andaman Nicobar Islands are present in Bay of Bengal, and it constitute about 0.3% of total geographic area. They are the centers of high endemism, and it contains some of India's finest evergreen forest, and it supports a wide variety of corals. Okay, fauna include the names of the animals is given here. So far we have learned about different habitats and different animals present in such a habitats, and it can also get affected by certain natural calamities. That is what we call it as threats to biodiversity. So the threats to biodiversity may reduce the population in particular area. Such spots are called as the hot spots, and it should be definitely identified, and we have to rejuvenate certain with certain measures in order to keep the biodiversity and keep balance in our ecosystem. So we shall continue on the next class. As I told you, you have to take notes once you listen to the class, and you can write in your classwork and you copy down the questions given in the question bank. Thank you, students.